There was Levy's darkened profile in his hat next to me in the car, and the white path of headlights on the empty road. He was wearing jeans, still becoming a Hasid, still learning the rules, but I knew we wouldn't touch. I relied on that. I sat huddled in my black wool coat, helpless, determined, my feet not quite touching the floor as we both pelted forward into the rushing universe. My hand rested near the door handle, curled like that of a child. I didn't know I was the third girl Rabbi Fruman had approached for Levy. I didn't know I was being shopped, and I didn't know why the first two girls had turned away. I accepted that the privileged commandment to marry, along with its spiritual rewards, was for men. It was our duty as women to help them fulfill that command. I saw nothing to note in my vacuum absence of desire. A vacuum makes no sound. I did know by then how Hasidim were supposed to go about matchmaking, how Hasidic parents research the prospective match, and then they're to gently query their son or daughter about what he or she wants in a spouse, and encourage the young couple to go out to some public place to talk, as long as they don't touch. The two are to share their hearts, their goals. They are to decide if they'll marry together and proceed only if both souls begin to ignite. You will know, my imaginary loving Hasidic parents tell their inexperienced children. The law and God will love you, protect you. We too were there once. Instead, we had Levy's accountant dad deep within the wannabe Dallas Jewish community, and Levy's mom who never missed a Cowboys game. We had my hoarding artist mother and mentally ill father, and my newly rich grandparents who ate schmaltz herring and wore elegant clothes. Perhaps Hasidic parents would have cautioned us to check inside ourselves for real feelings for one another, or given us their own sense of the match. Instead of Hasidic parents, we had Rabbi Fruman with his fierce and pious beard. In place of courtship, I'd had 20 minutes in front of him on a folding chair in an emptied storage room beneath a tacked-up poster of the Rebbe. Levy pulled into a broad, black-tarred Sears parking lot and parked. We got out of the car and stood there looking at one another, alone in a dark landscape held down by a tarmac grid of white parking lines and litter. We were supposed to talk, but it didn't seem to matter what we said. We knew we didn't determine our destiny. Besides, he'd already chosen me. Well, Levy said. He looked at his shoes. What do you think? That was his proposal. Diffused light from the towering mercury lights was too thin for warmth. His face was in shadow beneath the hat brim. I couldn't make out the black curls in his beard, deep brown eyes, high forehead, thick eyebrows, but something about his tall frame seemed foreign to me and unappealing. Or was I the alien? I stepped backward with a jerk. I had to will myself to stop and take this leap. I want flowers, I said, near panic. What? Color. I want color in every room, I said. I want you to bring me flowers. This was a last call for beauty in a black and white world. And I want a green room where I can play my cello. I'd like that, he said. His voice was soft and warm. It seemed there was no going back. I wouldn't be able to face the rabbi or my Hasidic friends if I did, but when I heard such caring in his voice, hope filled me. I'd like that, he had said. Maybe it would be okay. You would? I said. Then I was grinning, and so was he, in the desolate parking lot with the modest black space solid between us. Our train of dreams was picking up speed. Feelings squelched, save a soldier's pride. But I was looking to the future. I'd have flowers and color, a safe, clean home with a predictable, devoted, loyal man. None of my mother's hoarded clutter or my father's brooding darkness and nighttime hauntings. Lady offered home, safety, order, holiness. shared faith in something beyond our family's hard scrabble. That's what had drawn me to the Hasidim. I truly believed that marriage was escape from loneliness. I believed that escape from loneliness was the same as holiness. Levi stepped out of the shadows then. I looked up into his face. His eyes were bright, his gaze deep. He made a tiny, awkward gesture with one hand toward my waist and stopped himself. Lit from above, his bent head threw a curved shadow over my face, like half a heart.